Alright, and hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of my LP, James's Minecraft Journal. And you might notice a lot has changed. This is episode 5, by the way, day 5. And as you can see, there has been a lot of change in the last day. It has been too tedious to do this stuff, but I'll explain why in a minute. But first, let's head on down to what we started at the end of last episode, which was the mob system. Oh yeah, you can see by my levels I'm on 54 levels now, so that is good for me. I'm back to where I was. Oh gee, do you hear that? I'm interested now. I hear some... Oh, there we go. There's a cave there. I'll explore it later. Give me a minute, I'm just gonna block that. Okay, so, excuse me. You can see that I have dug out an entire room. It is 30 by 30. I'm just gonna turn that guy down because it's quite loud. I'll deal with that later. So, 30 by 30. This is all that is needed. It's only too high. Enderman can't spawn. Now I should say that this was not my creation. I mentioned that last episode. I didn't say whose creation it was. I'm sure many people have come up with the idea, but the person I saw do it was Etho, back in the early days of his LB, back in his alpha beta days. So, and it still works. I have made a few small modifications to it, but I'll try, if I remember, I'll put a link to Etho's channel in the description. Although I think most people who play Minecraft know who he is, or most people who are aware of Minecraft know who he is. But I'll try link his channel in the description. But yeah, he was the original designer for this project. But basically, I'll explain the modifications I've made shortly. And I think I might have said this before in other Let's Plays, such as my SMP server videos or my progress game, where I did the exact same designs. But I'll just explain it here too, just for anyone who's not familiar with it. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a bunch of channels in the ground. They're going to be too deep, and we're going to fill them with water, signs and stairs, and that'll push the mobs to the middle, and where they will get killed in some way. I will explain that way in just a bit. But yeah, first I've got to dig the trenches, and I will do that right now. Okay, whoops, hit my Windows key by accident. We are back. I've dug the trenches. I actually got sidetracked and I went and lit up that cave, which was quite... it was quite funny because I removed the block that I'd initially placed, and it turned out there was a creeper, a skeleton and a zombie that nestled in the hole because they couldn't get out. So as soon as I dug that, a creeper falls, and as soon as the creeper falls, it explodes, and I'm down to half a heart. So yep, that was some experience. But right now, this is what we've got. We've got beginnings of a mob system. We've got the trenches. I've placed the source blocks at the end of the canals. Now I'm just trying to remember where the dips go. I think some of them go here. And the thing is, I think I've built this exact same design at least 10 times, if not more. Like every server I go on, every new world I've had, I always build this, and so I've built it so much. I think this is the first time I've not had to refer to the video, because often when I used to build it, I used to have Etho's video up, and I used to just copy off of that. But now I think I can just do it off by heart, and I'm pretty sure this is how you do it. Shouldn't be too difficult. It was quite funny because in my main world, I did a main world tour in the early days of my channel. It was back in the days when I used to record at 5 frames per second. In that world, the mob system I built there was slightly off. It was 31 blocks instead of 30, which was just a miscalculation on my part. So, little random fact for you there regarding one of my older worlds. Okay, so we've got the dips there, and there's also dips that go here. Basically what these do is they keep the flow of water going, because as we all know, water in Minecraft only flows... Oh man, it's raining. How dreich. Which is a word meaning miserable, if you don't know. Anyway, dips, yes, we're talking about the dips here. As we know, water in Minecraft only travels 8 blocks, or 7 from the source, and in order to keep the flow going so there's no dead zones, I saw Etho come up with this design thing, this design part of it. So basically what all you do is you just have stairs there, have signs to prevent any backflow of water, and the other source blocks of water will go above the stairs in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around and I'm going to place stairs there, signs there, middle block one up, and from there I should be ready to go. And as you can see, stairs are pointing in the way the mobs are to be going, so I'm not going to put stairs here, they're going to go here because that's the way we want the mobs to go. And so the water currents will form and just push them up. I'll show you what I mean when I've got it all done. So I know I'm pretty bad at explaining things, but oops, partly why I'm doing this is so I can get better at it. Alright, and we're back. So I have managed to get all the dips done. As you can see, we have got the sign here holding the water back from flowing backwards and therefore distorting the whole mob system, the whole flow of things. And we've got the stairs here which will help push the mobs up and forward. And in this area here, we're going to have the drop. Now, this is where my modification comes in. It's not like it's not a complex modification. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not complex. It's quite simple. Basically, when I saw Etho do this, Etho create the design, he had the mob swim to the center and then swim up to the surface. Now, in a day and age when there was no hoppers and things that could collect the items for you, that was probably a better idea because it meant the mob drops came to your base on the surface. But in this case we've got hoppers now, and so it's perfectly fine just to drop the mobs down into a tunnel and sending them to a killing chamber where their drops will drop into some hoppers. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take advantage of that. Hoppers are a great addition to the game in 1.5 and I really like them. But first we're going to get rid of that for starters. We're going to get the flow of water going. So I'm just going to, let's see, yeah, I'm just going to do this. Run around the outside and as quickly as I can take out all the stuff. Now, oh, bother, knew that would happen. Now this design is good when you're starting a world because you get a lot of stone from it. I've got half, possibly 3/4 of a double chest full of cobble upstairs, which is fantastic in this early stage of the game. I mean, it's often hard to come by cobble early on because you especially if you do a lot of building early, because then you start to lose it and that. So I'm really happy that I got a good start in resources, and this mob system has helped contribute to that. Another thing it does is, oh, we're done there. Another thing is that this system doesn't, it's not like a huge floating thing in the sky, which I've seen some mob systems. That are like that, so that's another good thing. It's hidden. You wouldn't even know it was there if you hadn't created it, so that's another good thing about it. So overall I think it's a pretty good system. It can take spiders as well. I know some mob systems are constrained. They cannot take spiders, but these ones can. It can't take endermen, but then, let's face it, endermen don't really like water. And if we're talking about an enderman system, that's where they end it. That's what the end's for. Okay, so I have we've got the water tunnel channels finished. We have removed all the blocks which have been holding the water back, and you can see here that the flow of water continues even above the stairs, and that will enable the mobs to go smoothly to the killing chamber. That's really what we're aiming to do at this point. So basically all we've got to do left is work on the killing chamber itself, and that's quite well, when I say complex, it's complex for me because this is obviously going to be my base, and the killing chamber only flows like one way. I mean, on second thoughts, I guess I could have the mobs just like falling into into lava, make them fall through lava and then to hoppers below, but that's, I think, a bit risky because I believe some mobs might get stuck or some mobs might decide to swim in the lava, so I don't think that's a good option. So basically what I normally do is I have them drop into another water stream and that carries them away towards a lava blade. They go through the lava blade, die, drops fall into hoppers. So that's quite simple, that works well, it's proven. Doesn't work so well for spiders, I believe, because spider drops may burn up, but I don't think we need string as much as other things, so yeah, I don't have much of an issue with that, as long as it provides some string. Alright, didn't mean to go this far ahead, but I managed to get the tunnel, oh shoot, managed to get the tunnel sorted. This is the killing spot for the mobs. This is the lava blade, which will obviously kill them, and I think it's at a good height. If it was one block lower, it might distort the water system, but even worse, I think it would have there would be a larger chance of drops falling into the lava. Oh bother! I didn't mean to do that. Give me a minute. I was trying to get rid of these buckets and get some what do you call it? Some of that on my bar. I'm gonna, oops, wrong place. Let's grab that so it doesn't go in the hopper. I took coordinates of the chest. There's currently no way to access the chest, but we can work on that in the coming episodes. Excuse me. So let's see, I'm just gonna take this all the way back to wherever the next up, not next up bit. That was very bad English. Yeah, to here. To get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So this mob system is not entirely finished, and it won't be entirely finished for a wee while yet. I do want to implement a lighting system. Now what I could do is I could do the old style lava lighting where a piston stops the lava and the lights go out, but I would much prefer to make use of the redstone lamps that we have in the game, and so I'm going to oh no! That's not good. Kill the feet. Oh, that's good. The signs is in the way. Oh, that was so scary. So even with lights in the mob system, the mob system's working. Flippin' heck. I was just thinking there, is it not just fortunate that he spawned at that side? Like, if he'd spawned, like, say over on the other side somewhere, and he would have fallen in and come up behind me when I couldn't see him. But anyway, that's by the by. Let us, I'm not sure if I should, yeah, I'm going to do it. We're going to activate the mob system right now. I don't see any reason to keep it going, and we're just going to vacate the facility for now, and in future episodes we will go down and see what sort of mob loot we have. But right now we're just going to get rid of the torches and let it run on its own. Oh, we left a torch over there. Now, of course, the scary part is having to do this while, you know, while you're inside the mob system. So that's obviously it's crucial that one gets it right and doesn't mess up. Otherwise, a creeper could end up destroying a large section of it. Now, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I kind of want to play with an automatic sorting system with this build, because on the server I've got one of these obviously, and it's quite good, very efficient. Problem is, the Oh, I think that's everything. It's looking good. Yeah, the problem with the one in the server is that once there's drops in it. Oh, I need to make sure I don't fall in. Yeah, once there's drops in the mob system, I have to then manually transport them to their selected chests, and I don't really want to have to do that this time, so I'm going to try and implement some sort of a... Oh, I almost let go of shift there. I'm going to try and implement some sort of an automated sorting system. It's going to be a lot more difficult, but who knows? I think we can do it. So yeah, I'm just going to pill it up. Alright, and back. Now I'm going to reveal why the terrain has changed. One of the features of my worlds is I usually alter the terrain in order to fit my builds. I'm not very good at building with the environment, and that is to be shown here again. But basically, I'm going to explain what all these torches are. Now, as you know, last episode we defined this as true spawn. Well, this block here is true spawn, but technically spawn is these 4 blocks here. It's just it goes for the... I did read the wiki and it said southwest is the favoured block, so that's this one here. But these blocks here show the extent of the spawning area. Now I learnt from the wiki that in multiplayer the spawn area is 10 blocks by 10 blocks, but in single player it is only... well, it's actually double that, so it's 20 by 20. Not sure if that's double in terms of area, but you know, 10 plus 10 is 20, so we'll just go with that. So yeah, what my plan for spawn is, because I'm aware of a lot of single player worlds spawn is just, you know, a field, or some players don't even live around spawn, they just go off into the distance and never come back. That's fair enough. I want to kind of honour spawn, make it look nice, and build my base around it, because it is after all kind of the centrepiece. We've got the mob system below this that we just finished. So yeah, I'm going to try and do something similar to what I did on my progress game, where I kind of had spawn. I had the circle, which was spawned. Like, it was the ring of stones on the hill, which looked quite cool. So I'm going to try and do something similar to that. Maybe not standing stones and all that, but I'm certainly going to try and make this the centrepiece of my base. Now I have had a few architectural ideas, which I'm going to try and put to practice, but I'm not sure how well they'll turn out. But anyway, this is what I'm thinking for future episodes. Maybe next episode or the episode after we'll get to work on this. But I'm going to have a think about designs and try and practice some building styles, and we'll try and roll with that. It's a building style that I've never really tried before, but I've seen others do, and I think it looks pretty good. But again, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, and yeah, we're just going to have to trial it. Go with trial and error. That's what we're going to attempt. Sorry if my commentary is a bit off today, but I just played a game with Jack of UHC, and it was tense, and I was shaking, and I'm still shaking from it. So yeah, that's my situation at the minute. That's my apology. I've noticed an issue though with this. I think it's the cow farm, possibly the chicken farm, which as you can tell is not running at the minute. Although the population of chickens does seem to have increased a lot, which I guess eggs have a chance of hatching by themselves, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but there's a lag issue, because I often get low frames when there's a lot of cows. I mean, as you can see in my chests, I have a ton of... In fact, I might just go show you. I've got a ton of beef, and that was from a lot of cows in that pen, and it was very, very laggy. And I guess that's just stating the obvious, obviously, because if you've got more entities, there's some more beef there. If you've got more entities, you're bound to experience more lags, so I guess that's just normal. But I know it's kind of weird, because I experience it's all over, like over here as well as over there, so it's just interesting. So I don't know about that. Again, I think, well, I don't think I've said this before, but I think these farms might be temporary. I'm not sure about this one. This one's probably permanent, because I've done all the wiring in the room and everything, but as for the cow farm, I think this one might be permanent, temporary. Again, I'm not sure. I'm just thinking ahead into the future. That's something we can work on later. Now, if you excuse me, I'm just going to check the time of the episode, and we might do something else depending on how late it is. There's one thing I do really want to do, and I'm kind of debating on whether I'm going to do it or not this episode, is go to 00 and have a look at the terrain there, because my plan for there, which I've spoken about before, is to, well, I've not told you exactly what it is, but my plan is to build a bit of a city there, similar to the capital that I was planning to build in my first world, which I never got around to because the server started up and I began playing on there, but now I'm back in a single player world. I plan to build like the capital of my world at 00. This is of course not 00, it is about 200 blocks out, so about 200 blocks away 00, and I was planning to check that, but I think we'll do that another time. Right now we might just have a general check of the area. I might go that way and have a bit of a look about. I'm going to first show you all the resources I have contained inside these 4 chests. Got a lot of sugar cane from the farm and leather, which will be good for when we come to enchant. I got a lot of iron, a lot of coal as well, and lapis and redstone and all that good stuff. Only 3 of these, but hey, there's bound to be more about. Got a lot of food, natural stuff. I got leaves for the build the other day. And look at this, almost a double chest full of cobble, thanks to the mob system, and a ton of dirt as well. So, yep, resource collecting is going extremely well. So I'm just going to take a quick walk. I guess just quickly I'll talk about an experience I had the other day with Ultra Hardcore. I just can't think of who else to share it with, so I'll share it on this. Oh, it's a pool there. I'm just going to walk up here for a wee bit of a distance. But basically I was playing a game of Ultra Hardcore, and it was going well. It was just like any other game. I was collecting resources now, but however I went hunting for people earlier than I normally would. Then it got to a point where I was in the mountains and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and camp and wait for people to show up. You know, I didn't know if anyone was going to show up. I thought, you know, there's always a chance. And it was quite cool because it's kind of like Highlander. You know, I'm living in the Highlands. I'm proud to think of myself as an honorary Highlander. So it's cool to be in a UHC game, to be camping in the Highlands like the Highlanders of old. And I waited there for, I think it was about 15-20 minutes, and then eventually, because I was like hidden at the very top of the mountain under it, and after 15-20 minutes I saw a name come into the distance, and they actually started climbing the hill, because I thought I'd have to run down to get them, but no, they were climbing the hill. And so I waited until they were almost at the top, and I jumped out my hole. I shot them, and then I had a knockback sword. I sharpness 1, knockback 1, unbreaking 1 off a level 1, which was pretty impressive. So I went and hit them off. They fell and they died. It was great, and this was at like 2 in the morning, so I was really happy about that. It was well worth staying up late just for that moment. A typical Highlander hit and run tactics. But yeah, so that was my experience, which was amazing. It looks like we've got some more sheep over here, which is good. I actually moved the animals that I had, because if you remember, I got pigs and sheep in a wee pen, but when I logged in one day I saw one of the sheep die because of the wall glitch, suffocation of the wall. Whoa, that's not loaded, is it? If that was, no, it was just not loaded. Okay, well, we seem to have a vast plains biome. Got some trees over here, which is cool. A bit of a cool cave here. Okay, so we've got a bit of space to work with here. I'm not sure if I'll use it for anything, but you never know. The reason I chopped down this birch tree was to get some birch saplings, because I currently don't have any. Is there any more? Yep, there's one more. and I think we'll call the episode an end for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow.